I want you to imagine for a moment that the entire universe is conspiring in your favor, that every delay, every redirection, every moment of uncertainty is not an obstacle, but a blessing cloaked in disguise. Imagine that there is not a single atom, not a single breath you take, not a single step you walk that isn't being orchestrated for your highest good. Imagine that behind the curtain of appearances, behind what your senses report to you, everything is working out perfectly for you, even if it doesn't look like it. I am here to tell you that this is not mere fantasy. This is law. This is the truth that governs your entire life, whether you recognize it or not. What you assume to be true, what you believe with conviction, becomes the life you live. You see, we are told, according to your faith, be it unto you. And faith is nothing but persistence in the assumption that something unseen is real. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you align with that law. You place yourself in harmony with the pattern of fulfillment. You walk, speak, and think from the end where the desired outcome has already happened. You do not ask how. You do not look for signs. You do not beg the universe. You simply dwell in the feeling of certainty, in the knowing that your reality bends to your assumption. There was once a woman who came to me, broken, defeated by life's apparent injustices. She said to me, "Neville, I have done everything. I have prayed, affirmed, visualized, but my life remains the same. What am I doing wrong?" And I said to her, "You are doing all these things from the standpoint of someone who lacks, who does not have, who hopes it will work out, but fears it may not. You must reverse it. You must act as if it has already worked out. You must feel the relief now. Live from the end." She began to take my words to heart. She stopped asking for change and began assuming the change had already occurred. She walked into rooms with a quiet confidence. She no longer waited for signs to believe. She believed first. And then the signs followed. The job came. The relationship improved. Her health transformed. But more than any of that, her inner world shifted. She lived in peace, in certainty, in power. You see, to act as if everything always works out for you is not arrogance. It is not delusion. It is the recognition of your divine inheritance. You are not some accidental product of chance. You are imagination itself. And imagination creates reality. Your world is your mirror. It reflects what you persistently assume to be true. What do you believe when things don't go your way? Do you spiral into fear? Do you assume failure? Or do you remember that appearances are only shadows cast by your inner light? I tell you, everything can change in an instant if you will. But assume it already has. You must feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter the state of the solution, not the problem. I have said before, and I will say it again, man is all imagination. And God is within you as your own wonderful human imagination. When you imagine that everything is working out for you and you feel it deeply, you are speaking the language of God. You are commanding the world to take shape in your favor, and it must obey. It must. Do not be swayed by the evidence of your senses. Your senses show you what has been, not what must be. The moment you accept a new idea and clothe it in feeling, you have planted the seed. Whether or not you see immediate results is irrelevant. The seed is growing, and if you persist in the assumption that everything always works out for you, that seed becomes a tree, and that tree bears fruit. It is easy to believe when everything looks favorable, but the true power is found when you believe in spite of appearances. When the world says no, but your inner world says yes. When the bank account is low, but you walk as one who is already abundant. When the relationship seems lost, but you live from the state where love is already restored. How does one live like this, you ask? You begin with imagination. You close your eyes and see not with the eyes of flesh, but with the eyes of spirit. You imagine what it would feel like if you knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that everything was working out. You let that feeling saturate your being, and you carry it with you into the waking world. That feeling is the prayer. That feeling is the key, for feeling is the secret. Think of a time when something seemed to go wrong, but later you realized it was the best thing that could have happened. Think of the jobs you didn't get, the people who left you, the delays that frustrated you. All of them, in hindsight, were not mistakes. They were stepping stones. They were divine redirections. What if you could trust that in every moment? What if you could live from that trust now? The truth is, you already are the person who has everything working out. You already exist in that state. All states exist. Creation is finished. Your task is not to make something happen, but to select the state you desire and dwell in it. You move from one state to another by assumption, by conviction, by persistence. Every time you say to yourself, "It's always working out for me," you are reaffirming your place in that state. You are shifting your identity. You are becoming the one who lives in alignment with divine favor. And the world, being a faithful mirror, must show you what you assume. Let me remind you that it is not effort that brings about change. It is not struggle. It is not hours of laborious prayer. It is simply the acceptance of the end. If you can accept the end as real, now then the means will unfold naturally. Life will rearrange itself to reflect your inner world. I once knew a man who lived in constant fear of things going wrong. Every small inconvenience became a sign of doom for him. And surely life obeyed. His car broke down, his health suffered, his relationships crumbled. I told him, "My dear friend, you are not unlucky. You are simply faithful to the wrong assumption. Change it." He began to test this truth. He began to say, "Everything is always working out for me," not with hope, but with certainty. And though at first nothing seemed different, he did not waver. And then miracles began to appear. Unexpected checks arrived. Opportunities opened. He smiled more. He slept better. He had become someone new, not by doing more, but by assuming more wisely. You must decide right now that you are done entertaining doubt. You must become faithful to your vision, not your fear. Faithful to your future, not your past. The world you see is the outpicturing of your assumption. You do not change the reflection by scratching the mirror. You change the reflection by changing yourself. I am telling you, act as if everything always works out for you. And by act, I do not mean to pretend. I mean to live from the truth of it. Think from it. Feel from it. Let it be your inner atmosphere. And as within, so without. The law is never broken. The law is always working. It is your servant, waiting for your instruction. What would you do if you knew that success was guaranteed? What risks would you take? What steps would you stop delaying? What words would you say? What love would you give? What dreams would you pursue? Act from that version of yourself. For that version is not a fantasy. It is you, clothed in courage and trust. You are not here to merely react to life. You are here to create it. You are here to mold it with your inner conversation. Listen to what you are telling yourself when no one is watching. Are you affirming the outcome you desire, or the one you fear? Change the conversation. Begin to speak only that which you want to see realized. I am always supported. I am guided. I am favored. Life loves me. Things always work out for me. You will find yourself walking differently, talking differently. People will notice your energy. They won't be able to name it, but they will feel it, because you are living from the end. You are living from the kingdom within. The power is not outside of you. It never was. It is in your ability to assume the best and persist in that assumption. No matter what the outer world says, you stand firm in your inner knowing. That is true power. That is mastery. I urge you to test this. Not tomorrow, but now. Begin this moment to act as if everything is working out for you. When something unexpected happens, smile. Say to yourself, "I may not see the whole picture yet, but I know this is part of it working out." And soon you will see the pattern. You will see the wisdom in every turn. You will live with peace, because you will know the truth. Your job is not to control the how. Your job is to maintain the inner state. If you can do that, the rest will take care of itself. Life responds to the dominant assumption. And when your dominant assumption is that everything always works out for you, then life has no choice but to conform. You are the author. You are the dreamer. You are not a victim of fate. You are a creator of form. And what you imagine in faith, you will encounter in fact. So go forth from this moment on, with the knowing that you are already on the path. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Trust that. Assume that. And act as if it cannot fail, because it cannot. You were never meant to struggle, to chase, to fight against the tide. You were meant to align, to allow, to assume with confidence and joy. Life becomes effortless when you live from the end. When you claim the feeling of already having that which you desire, the universe bends to your conviction. You are divine imagination. That is your true identity. And your world is clay in your hands. Mold it with love. Mold it with certainty. Mold it with the deep, unwavering knowing that everything is always working out for you, and it shall be so. Let us go deeper still. You must understand, this is not merely a psychological trick or a motivational mantra to make you feel better in the moment. This is metaphysics. This is law. This is the foundation upon which reality stands. The very moment you dwell in the inner conviction that everything is working out for you, you set into motion forces unseen that reshape the entire fabric of your experience. And while the change may not always be immediate to your senses, it is immediate in the realm that precedes form. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you stop fighting with the world. You stop resisting what is. You surrender, not in weakness, but in faith. You cease arguing with appearances, and instead you plant your feet firmly in your assumption. And that assumption becomes your new foundation, your new center of gravity. From that center, you can move mountains. To the world, it may seem irrational. It may appear foolish. They will say you are unrealistic, that you are ignoring facts. But I say to you, the facts are only shadows of former beliefs. They are the residue of prior assumptions. If you would but persist, the facts will change. The outer must follow the inner. It has no choice. It is law. Take no thought for the morrow, said the Master. Why? Because he understood that worry, doubt, and fear are nothing but prayers for what you do not want. Instead, he pointed us toward the kingdom within. He taught us to live from the state of already having. When you pray, believe that you have received, and you shall receive. This is not metaphor. It is instruction. Precise divine instruction. Now imagine walking through your day with the inner knowing that life is unfolding in your favor. A delay at the airport, this is part of it working out. A rejection from someone you love, this too is working for me. An unexpected expense, even this is a setup for greater abundance. You start to live from the end of peace, not turmoil. From the end of success, not failure. The more you live in that state, the more your world becomes ordered by it. You draw to yourself people, events, and opportunities that match the tone of your inner world, not by trying to control them, but by embodying the version of yourself to whom these things already belong. You don't have to beg for anything. You don't have to hustle, chase, or strive. You have only to dwell in the state of knowing, the state of gratitude before the manifestation, the state of the wish fulfilled. You walk through life with an invisible crown on your head, not of arrogance but of assurance, because you know who you are. You know that your assumption is causative. You know that you are one with the source that forms the heavens and the earth. When you forget, because we all forget, come back to the state. Close your eyes and remember. Feel again what it feels like to be supported, loved, protected, favored. Feel it in your bones. Feel it until it feels real. For that is the test. Can you feel something so deeply that it becomes more real to you than the evidence of your senses? If you can do that, the world must catch up. It must reflect your inner knowing. The world is not solid. It is not fixed. It is fluid, malleable, shaped by consciousness. What you assume to be true hardens into fact. So why not assume the best? Why not assume that everything, yes, everything is rigged in your favor? You must understand that this is not something that works only sometimes. It is working always. The question is not whether the law works, but what are you impressing upon it? Are you filling the mold of your mind with faith or with fear? Are you rehearsing limitation or celebrating fulfillment? If you want to change your life, you must change your assumption. And to change your assumption, you must first catch yourself in the act of doubting. Notice the story you are telling yourself throughout the day. Is it a story of what if it doesn't work out, or is it a story of everything is already working out? Let me remind you, you don't need permission. You don't need evidence. You don't need anyone to agree with you. You need only your imagination and your willingness to dwell in the end. The end is what gives life to the means. The end is the cause. Live there and you will watch the whole world rearrange itself around your conviction. You are not here to try. You are here to be. You are not here to hope. You are here to know. And when you know deeply that everything is working out for you, you become immovable. You become unshakable. Storms may come, winds may howl, but you remain centered. You remain still, because your peace does not come from circumstance. It comes from assumption. It comes from the state within. That is true mastery. Not the ability to control events, but the ability to maintain your state regardless of them. The outer world becomes a theater in which your inner world plays itself out. You are the writer. You are the director. You are the actor, and the script is whatever you assume it to be. Now let this not be merely theory for you. Test it. Try it. Begin now. Pick one situation in your life that appears uncertain. Close your eyes and see the outcome you desire. Feel what it feels like to know it is done, to know that it is already yours. Carry that feeling with you. Do not drop it. Let nothing persuade you otherwise. And then observe. Watch how life moves. Watch how things align. Watch how miracles unfold, not because you forced them, but because you assumed them. You are never waiting on the world to change. You are only ever waiting on yourself to assume the change is already complete. When that inner shift happens, everything changes. People begin to treat you differently. Circumstances turn in your favor. Doors open. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. All of it begins with one simple truth: everything is always working out for you. Let that be your mantra. Let that be your prayer. Let that be your dominant thought. Whisper it when you wake. Declare it when you walk. Sing it in silence. And in time, you will see that it was never the world that needed to change. It was only ever your assumption. You do not need to earn your good. You need only to accept it. And when you accept it as already true, life must match your acceptance. This is not hope. It is law. This is not magic. It is principle. Assume it is done. Feel it is done. Live as though it is done. And it is done. Now let us bring our attention to the simplicity of this practice. Many make the mistake of complicating the law. They seek advanced techniques, rituals, affirmations, and elaborate routines. But I tell you, it is the simplest act of all that yields the most profound results. The act of assuming, of entering the state, mentally and emotionally, and remaining there. You do not need a candle. You do not need the perfect moon phase. You do not need to repeat something 100 times. You need only to know it is done. What is assumption, if not a silent agreement with God? When you say in your heart, "This too shall work in my favor," you are aligning yourself with the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. You are stepping into the current of life rather than fighting it. You are surrendering to the truth that all things are unfolding exactly as they must, to bring you to the manifestation of your desire. You may not always understand the path. You may not always see why certain detours appear, but I assure you, when you persist in the inner state, those detours become miracles in disguise. They become the invisible hand of grace, moving people, circumstances, and events with precision. But you must remain faithful, not to what you see, but to what you know within. There will be moments when everything around you seems contrary. The outer world will tempt you to abandon your assumption. The bank account may empty. The person may walk away. The opportunity may vanish. But these are merely tests, not from some punishing universe, but from your own deeper self. It is your inner reality, asking, will you remain loyal to the state, or will you react to the shadows? If you remain loyal, if you walk in the knowing that all things are working for your highest good, you will witness the rearrangement. You will look back in awe and say, what I once called a setback was my greatest setup. What I once called a problem was the portal to my answered prayer. This is how the law works. It bends to belief. It conforms to conviction. And conviction is born not of repetition, but of identification. You must identify as the one for whom everything always works out. Not sometimes. Not when you're lucky. Not when the stars align. Always, even now. As you hear these words, you are being invited into that state. You are being called to remember who you are. Not a victim of life, but the cause of it. Not a wanderer in chaos, but a creator in command. You were never meant to struggle. You were never meant to strive. You were meant to assume, to feel, and to receive. How do you know when you are in the state? You feel relief. You feel joy without reason. You smile at the silence. You are no longer grasping, chasing, needing. You are still. You are certain. You are aware that what you seek is already yours in the unseen, and therefore must come to pass. Do not concern yourself with when. Time is the servant of assumption. It bends and folds around your belief. What takes others years may come to you in days. What others must labor for, you will attract with ease. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are aligning with the greater truth that your inner world is primary, and the outer must echo it. You need not convince others. You need not argue with logic. Simply remain faithful. Carry your inner conviction quietly, like a secret treasure, and let the fruits of your faith speak for themselves. For when you live in the state of everything is always working out for me,
your life becomes a testimony, a walking miracle, a living prayer answered. Others will ask, how did you do it? And you will say, I assumed, I believed, I felt, I walked as though it were already true, and the world had no choice but to reflect it. Let this be your daily practice, not effort but assumption, not hustle but inner rest. Wake in the morning and step into the feeling. Walk through your day and return to the feeling. Rest at night in the peace of the fulfilled desire. Do not waver. Do not look back. Press forward in faith. When the winds of doubt blow, you anchor yourself in the state. When fear whispers its lies, you reply with your truth. Even this is working out for me. You speak it until it becomes your dominant vibration. And once it does, the world around you cannot help but align. You are not asking the universe to bless you. You are recognizing that it already has. You are not trying to create. You are revealing what is already true in the realm of spirit. You are simply moving from knowing to knowing, from fulfillment to fulfillment, without resistance. It is here, in this sacred inner posture, that miracles become ordinary. What once felt like fantasy becomes your new normal. You begin to expect the best, not because you are naive, but because you are awake to the truth of who you are. You are God in motion, imagination clothed in form, and when you assume, you create. So do not wait for the evidence to begin believing. Let your belief be the evidence. Let your assumption be the cause. Let your inner world dictate the terms. Everything you see, touch, and experience is but the echo of a prior state. If you would change the echo, change the state. Now pause and breathe. Feel the truth of these words. Not in your mind but in your spirit. Let it settle. Let it take root. Begin to walk with the poise of the fulfilled. Begin to speak from the place of completion. Begin to look upon the world with eyes that see beyond appearances. For the unseen is more real than the seen, and what is real in imagination shall become real in form. I say to you again, act as if everything always works out for you, because it does, because it must, because you have declared it so, and your declaration is the seed from which reality grows. And so, beloved, let this be your final awakening. You are not at the mercy of fate, chance, or circumstance. You are the operant power. Life is not happening to you. It is happening through you, as you, for you. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you are not pretending. You are proclaiming. You are standing in the authority of one who knows their imagination is God, and their assumption is law. Let the world call it delusion. Let the facts scream otherwise. You remain unmoved, for you have seen the truth. You have felt the power. You have touched the divine in the silence of your own consciousness, and you know now, with certainty, that nothing is too great, too far, or too impossible. You need only assume, and remain faithful. Walk forward now, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Wear the feeling of the wish fulfilled, like a second skin. Let it shape your tone, your steps, your silence. And as you do, you will watch in quiet wonder, as life bows to your belief, and the unseen becomes seen. This is your secret. This is your power. Act as if everything always works out for you, and it will. It always has. It always will, because you have finally remembered who you are.
Stop worrying. The things that weigh heavily on your heart, the things that cause you sleepless nights, the struggles that feel never ending, let go of them. In this December, in this very moment, God is working in your life in ways you cannot yet see. It may seem like nothing is changing, but I tell you, the universe is aligning itself to bless you. You have been heard, and change is on the way. When you worry, you're allowing fear to control your thoughts and actions. But I urge you to shift your focus. Understand that your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. Whatever you focus on expands. The more you focus on your challenges, the more those challenges will appear in your life. But when you choose to trust, to believe in something greater, then the miracle begins. God has not forgotten you. You may feel isolated or discouraged, but your thoughts are the key to unlocking the life you desire. God has already provided all that you need. Everything is already here. Your thoughts, your feelings, your faith, all are channels through which divine energy flows, manifesting your desires into reality. You are the creator of your experience, and the time has come to stop living in the shadows of doubt and uncertainty. Now close your eyes for a moment and feel the presence of God. Imagine yourself living the life you've always dreamed of, surrounded by peace, abundance, and love. Hold that image in your mind and do not let it go. See yourself living in the fullness of God's plan. Trust that it is already done. This December, God is asking you to believe, to trust in the unseen, and to release the burden of worry. You may not know how it will happen, but that's the beauty of it. You don't need to know how. All you need is to believe that it's already done. Your faith in this divine process will allow you to see doors open, opportunities manifest, and your life transformed in ways that defy logic and reason. Every challenge you face, every worry that seems insurmountable, is simply an opportunity for growth. When you let go of the need to control and trust in God's plan, the universe will rearrange itself for you. Your circumstances will shift, and you will stand in awe of what is about to unfold. You are a co-creator with God, and your life is changing as we speak. This December, I challenge you to change your mindset. Stop worrying, start believing. Trust that God is moving mountains on your behalf, and soon you will see the results. When you stop doubting and start trusting, you will watch in wonder as God changes your life in ways you never thought possible. Let go of worry and trust in God's plan. This simple statement holds immense power, for it speaks to the core of our human experience. We are all faced with challenges, with moments when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear. It is easy in these moments to allow worry to take hold of us. We begin to question the path we are on, doubting our abilities, and fearing that the outcomes we desire will never come to fruition. We become overwhelmed by our circumstances, losing sight of the bigger picture, and forgetting that there is a divine plan unfolding in our lives. Worry is a natural response to uncertainty, but it is also one of the most unproductive emotions we can experience. It often clouds our judgment, distorts our perceptions, and causes us to focus on the worst-case scenario. We find ourselves consumed by what-ifs, imagining all the things that could go wrong, and in doing so, we lose the ability to see the possibility of things going right. We forget that worry does not change anything, it only drains our energy and distracts us from the solutions that are already available to us. When we worry, we are essentially telling ourselves that we do not trust the process of life. We are doubting that things will work out in our favor, and in doing so, we are disconnecting ourselves from the very source of support and guidance that can help us overcome our difficulties. But the truth is that life has an inherent flow, a rhythm that is guided by a higher power. There is a plan for each of us, a purpose that is greater than our current circumstances, and it is unfolding exactly as it should. To trust in God's plan means to believe that there is a divine order to everything that happens in our lives. It means understanding that the challenges we face are not random or meaningless, but rather are part of a greater design meant to help us grow, learn, and become the person we are meant to be. When we let go of worry and trust in this plan, we are opening ourselves up to the possibility of miracles, of things unfolding in ways that we could never have imagined. Trusting in God's plan requires us to release control. This is often the hardest part because we are conditioned to believe that we must always be in control of our lives, that we must plan every step and anticipate every obstacle. We believe that if we do not have everything figured out, we will fail. But the truth is that the more we try to control, the more we create resistance in our lives. We are not in control of everything that happens to us, and it is only when we accept this reality that we can experience peace. God's plan does not always unfold in ways that we expect. In fact, it often takes us down paths that we would never have chosen for ourselves. We may face detours, setbacks, or delays that cause us to question our faith. But it is precisely in these moments that our trust is tested. We must remember that God sees the bigger picture, and what may seem like a setback is often a step forward in disguise. Our growth comes not from avoiding challenges, but from facing them with trust and faith. When we trust in God's plan, we are also trusting in ourselves. We are trusting that we have the strength, wisdom, and resilience to navigate whatever comes our way. We are trusting that we are exactly where we need to be, even if we do not fully understand why. This trust allows us to let go of the fear and doubt that so often hold us back. It allows us to take risks, to step outside of our comfort zone, and to embrace the unknown with confidence. Letting go of worry and trusting in God's plan is a practice, not a one-time decision. It is something that we must do every day, sometimes every moment. We must remind ourselves that we are not alone in this journey, and that we are supported by a higher power that loves and cares for us. We must replace our worries with gratitude, focusing on the blessings that are already present in our lives, no matter how small they may seem. When we focus on gratitude, we shift our energy from fear to faith, from lack to abundance. In moments of doubt, we must remember that worry does not serve us. It does not solve our problems, nor does it make us stronger. What strengthens us is trust, the unwavering belief that everything is working out for our highest good. This trust allows us to release our attachments to outcomes and surrender to the divine timing of our lives. It allows us to trust that the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances will come into our lives at exactly the right time. Trusting in God's plan is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It is the path that leads to peace, to fulfillment, and to the life we were meant to live. When we let go of worry, we create space for miracles to unfold. We open ourselves up to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new ways of being. We begin to see that the challenges we face are not obstacles to our happiness, but opportunities for growth. As we release our grip on worry, we also release our attachment to the need for things to happen in a particular way. We no longer have to force outcomes or make things happen on our own. Instead, we trust that the universe is working in our favor, and that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This shift in mindset is transformative. It allows us to move through life with greater ease, with more joy, and with a deeper sense of purpose. Trusting in God's plan does not mean that we will never face difficulties, nor does it mean that we will always get what we want when we want it. It means that we trust the process, that we trust that even in the darkest moments, there is a divine purpose at work. It means that we trust that everything we experience is leading us to where we need to be. It means that we trust that we are loved, supported, and guided every step of the way. So let go of worry. Trust that God has a plan for you, a plan that is greater than anything you could have ever imagined. Trust that everything you are going through is leading you to something beautiful. When you choose to trust, you release the burden of fear, and you open yourself up to the blessings that are waiting for you. Your life is unfolding perfectly, and all you have to do is trust. Your mind is a powerful tool for manifesting change. It is the driving force behind everything you experience in life, from the smallest daily occurrences to the most significant events. Most people are unaware of just how much influence they have over their lives through their thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. The reality you experience is, in many ways, a reflection of what you hold in your mind. If you can harness the power of your thoughts and direct them towards positive change, you can transform your circumstances in ways that seem almost magical. At the core of every manifestation is the understanding that thoughts create reality. This is not a new concept, yet it remains one of the most profound truths we can embrace. Your mind, like a garden, is constantly planting seeds, ideas, emotions, desires, and beliefs. Whether you are conscious of it or not, these seeds grow and take shape, eventually producing the fruits of your life's experiences. If you cultivate positive thoughts, those thoughts will give birth to positive outcomes. Conversely, if your mind is consumed with fear, doubt, or negativity, those same energies will manifest as obstacles in your life. The mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It does not know the difference between an actual event or something you vividly visualize. When you focus on a particular thought or image, your mind creates the experience of it as though it were already true. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool. When you imagine yourself living your dream life, your mind believes that you are already living that life. It begins to work towards making it a reality, aligning your thoughts, actions, and circumstances in ways that bring you closer to that vision. You have the ability to create the life you desire by shifting your thoughts and beliefs. If you want to manifest a better job, a loving relationship, improved health, or financial abundance, you must first align your thoughts with those desires. The key is to think as though those desires have already been fulfilled. This shift in perspective is what begins to unlock the magic of manifestation. By visualizing your success, by feeling the emotions of having already achieved what you desire, you are sending powerful signals to the universe that you are ready for that reality. But the power of your mind goes beyond just thinking positively. It also involves belief. Belief is the foundation upon which your thoughts stand. You can think positive thoughts all day long, but if you do not believe that what you desire is possible, your mind will not be able to bring it into being. Belief is what energizes your thoughts and propels them into action. It is the fuel that drives the manifestation process. This is why it is so important to cultivate self-belief and trust in your own abilities. When you believe in yourself and your potential, you are aligning your mind with the universal laws of abundance and possibility. Your mind is also connected to the power of emotions. Emotions are like the magnets that draw your desires to you. When you feel excited, joyful, grateful, or hopeful about your goals, you are sending out energetic vibrations that attract similar frequencies back to you. This is why emotional energy is so important in the manifestation process. Positive emotions amplify the power of your thoughts, making them more magnetic and impactful. When you can feel the joy of having already achieved your desires, your emotions send out a signal to the universe, drawing those experiences into your life. This is why it is so important to cultivate emotions that match the feelings you want to experience. If you want love, joy, or peace, you must first feel those emotions within yourself. One of the greatest challenges people face when it comes to manifesting change is overcoming limiting beliefs. These are the thoughts and beliefs that tell you that you are not worthy, that your desires are impossible, or that you do not deserve success. Limiting beliefs often stem from past experiences, societal conditioning, or the opinions of others. They are ingrained in our subconscious minds and can have a powerful impact on the reality we create. However, these beliefs are not set in stone. Just as you have the power to shape your reality through your thoughts, you also have the power to change your beliefs. Changing limiting beliefs requires awareness and conscious effort. The first step is to identify the beliefs that are holding you back. Once you become aware of these beliefs, you can begin to challenge them. Ask yourself if they are truly yours, if they are based on facts, or if they are merely old patterns that no longer serve you. Replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. For example, if you believe that you are not worthy of success, replace that thought with the belief that you are deserving of all the abundance and love that life has to offer. By consistently replacing limiting beliefs with positive affirmations, you begin to rewire your subconscious mind, and over time, those new beliefs will shape your reality. Your mind also has the ability to focus on what you want, rather than what you don't want. Often people are so consumed with worry, fear, and doubt that they focus on the things they want to avoid, rather than focusing on the things they desire. This constant focus on the negative creates more of the same. If you want to manifest change, you must train your mind to focus on the positive outcomes you wish to create. Every time a fearful thought or negative belief arises, consciously replace it with a thought of gratitude, abundance, or success. The more you focus on what you want, the more your mind will begin to shift towards those outcomes, aligning you with the energy of your desires. The mind is also incredibly powerful when it comes to creating habits and behaviors that support your goals. If you want to change your life, you must first change your daily thoughts and actions. Your habits, both conscious and unconscious, shape your reality. If you want to manifest something different, you must begin by taking different actions. This requires a shift in mindset. Begin to think of yourself as the person who has already achieved your desires and take actions that align with that identity. If you want to be healthier, for example, begin to adopt habits that reflect a healthy lifestyle. If you want to be more successful in your career, start acting as if you already have the success you seek. The power of your mind is limitless. You can change your life by simply changing the way you think. When you align your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions with your desires, you begin to open the door to infinite possibilities. Your mind has the ability to manifest anything you desire, whether it is health, wealth, love, or success. But the key is to believe in your own power, trust in the process, and remain focused on what you want rather than what you fear. By mastering your mind, you can create the life you have always dreamed of and experience the transformation that you seek. At the core of faith in the unseen is the understanding that there is more to life than meets the eye. What we see, touch, or experience with our physical senses is only a small fraction of the greater reality. Beyond the physical realm lies an invisible force that governs everything, shaping the outcomes of our lives in ways we cannot always perceive. This unseen force is not separate from us, but is intricately woven into the fabric of our existence. Faith allows us to connect with this invisible power, to trust in it, and to believe that it is actively working in our favor, even when we cannot see the results immediately. When we place our faith in the unseen, we step out of the realm of doubt and limitation and enter into a space of possibility. It is easy to be influenced by what we can see, the circumstances, the challenges, the struggles that confront us in our daily lives. However, these external conditions are not the final truth. The truth lies in the unseen, in the potential for change, growth, and transformation that exists beyond the surface level. Faith opens our eyes to this deeper reality. It is the lens through which we begin to see not just the obstacles before us, but the opportunities that lie within them. This is why faith in the unseen brings transformation. It is not about ignoring the challenges or pretending that life is free from difficulty. Instead, faith empowers us to see beyond those challenges to the transformative potential they hold. It gives us the ability to understand that everything, even the most difficult of circumstances, can serve as a stepping stone toward greater growth. Through faith, we can tap into the deeper wisdom and guidance that is always available to us, even when we do not understand how or why things are happening. We trust that there is a greater plan at work, a plan that is leading us toward our highest good. Faith in the unseen is also the foundation of our ability to manifest change in our lives. We live in a world that often emphasizes what we can see, measure, and prove. But the process of manifestation begins in the realm of the unseen. Before anything can manifest in the physical world, it must first exist in the realm of thought, belief, and emotion. This is where faith becomes essential. Faith is the energy that fuels our desires. It is the belief that what we want to create is possible, even if we cannot yet see how it will unfold. When we trust in the unseen, we give life to our desires. We send out a signal to the universe that we believe in the possibility of our dreams, even when they are still in their infancy, unseen and unformed. This act of faith is not always easy. It requires patience, trust, and persistence. It can be difficult to hold on to faith when we cannot see immediate results. The world around us may tell us that it is impossible, that the odds are stacked against us, or that our dreams are unrealistic. But faith in the unseen allows us to look beyond the current moment, to see the bigger picture, and to believe in the ultimate success of our vision. It is the ability to stay grounded in the belief that our desires are already on their way, even when we cannot yet see the signs of their arrival. Faith in the unseen is also a transformative force because it shifts the way we relate to challenges and adversity. When we face obstacles, it is easy to become discouraged and overwhelmed. But faith enables us to shift our perspective. Instead of viewing obstacles as barriers, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Faith helps us trust that even when things are not going according to plan, the unseen forces are still at work behind the scenes, guiding us toward our ultimate good. It gives us the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Another powerful aspect of faith in the unseen is that it empowers us to create a new reality. When we begin to trust in the unseen, we are no longer bound by the limitations of our current circumstances. We are no longer confined to what we can see or measure with our physical senses. We start to understand that the world we see is simply a reflection of our inner state, our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings. By shifting our faith to the unseen, we begin to shift our inner world, and in doing so, we begin to transform our external reality. What we believe in the unseen realm has the power to manifest in the physical world. Faith in the unseen is not just about believing in what we cannot see, it is about believing in the unseen potential within ourselves. It is the belief that we have the power to create the life we desire, that we are worthy of success, happiness, and abundance, even when we cannot see how it will happen. This is where true transformation begins. When we have faith in our own potential, we tap into an unlimited source of creative power. We become the creators of our own reality, no longer waiting for circumstances to change, but taking the reins of our lives and shaping them according to our vision. The act of faith, of trusting in the unseen, is an act of surrender. It is the willingness to let go of control, to trust that there is a greater plan unfolding, even when we cannot understand it in the moment. This surrender does not mean passivity or resignation. It means aligning ourselves with the flow of life, with the guidance of the unseen forces that are always at work in our lives. It means releasing the need to know every step of the journey and trusting that we are being led in the right direction. When we embrace faith in the unseen, we allow ourselves to step into the unknown with confidence and courage. We no longer wait for the perfect conditions or for the right moment. Instead, we trust that the unseen forces are always working in our favor. We trust that even when we cannot see the way forward, we are being guided to the right place at the right time. This faith is what allows us to transform our lives. It is the foundation upon which all miracles are built. The unseen is not a void or an absence, but a realm full of infinite possibilities, waiting to be shaped by our belief. God has already provided all you need. This statement holds a profound truth that can shift the way we live our lives, the way we perceive our circumstances, and the way we approach our dreams. It is a realization that everything we require for success, happiness, and fulfillment has already been made available to us, even before we ask for it or realize we need it. This truth is woven into the very fabric of existence, and it is up to us to tap into this divine provision and trust that it is already ours. When we speak of God's provision, it is essential to understand that it goes beyond material things. Yes, this provision includes the physical and material resources we may need: food, shelter, clothing, and money, but it is so much more than that. It encompasses everything that sustains us and helps us thrive. It includes the spiritual strength to face challenges, the wisdom to make sound decisions, the love to heal broken hearts, and the inner peace that keeps us grounded during turbulent times. The provision of God is comprehensive, holistic, and all-encompassing, meant to meet our needs in every area of life, be it physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. The idea that God has already provided everything we need invites us to step into a state of trust. When we begin to embrace this concept, we realize that we are not constantly searching for something that is absent. We are not in a perpetual state of lack or longing. Instead, we understand that all we require is already present, waiting to be recognized and tapped into. This realization brings a deep sense of peace, because it allows us to stop chasing after things, stop striving in a frantic, anxious way, and begin to align ourselves with what is already there. One of the greatest challenges we face is the belief in scarcity, the idea that there is not enough. We may look at our circumstances, our bank accounts, our relationships, or our health, and feel as though we are lacking something vital. This feeling of scarcity can lead to fear, doubt, and anxiety. However, when we come to the realization that God has already provided everything we need, we begin to see life through a different lens. We shift from a mindset of lack to a mindset of abundance. We start to understand that God, in His infinite wisdom and love, has already set the stage for us to thrive. The abundance is already there, whether we can see it with our eyes or not. God's provision is not limited by our current situation. It does not depend on the size of our bank account or the number of people in our lives. It is a divine, limitless supply that exists beyond the physical realm. Often we become fixated on what we can see in front of us, but God's provision is not restricted to the physical world. It transcends the material and reaches into the unseen realm. When we trust in this provision, we align ourselves with the divine flow, and it is through this alignment that we begin to manifest the abundance God has already set aside for us. Part of understanding that God has already provided all you need is recognizing that our desires, our dreams, and our goals are not random. They are not accidents or coincidences. The dreams that stir within our hearts are a reflection of the divine plan that has already been set in motion. The desires you have are not just wishes or fantasies. They are a part of your divine purpose, and God has already provided everything necessary for you to fulfill them. The resources, the opportunities, and the people you need to bring your dreams to fruition are already in place, even if they are not immediately visible to you. This knowledge frees us from the need to constantly seek or chase after external things. Instead of feeling as though we must fight to obtain what we need, we begin to rest in the assurance that it is already ours. This does not mean that we stop taking action or that we become passive in our lives. On the contrary, it means that we act from a place of confidence and trust. We take inspired action, knowing that we are being guided by a divine force that is already setting everything up for us. We act in faith, trusting that every step we take is leading us closer to the manifestation of the provision that has already been made. This divine provision also includes our spiritual growth and transformation. As we journey through life, there will inevitably be moments when we feel challenged, tested, or uncertain. In these moments, it is essential to remember that God has already provided everything we need to overcome any challenge we face. The strength to persevere, the wisdom to make the right choices, and the courage to move forward are all part of God's provision. Even in moments of hardship, we are not abandoned or left alone to fend for ourselves. We are supported by an unseen force that is constantly providing for us, guiding us and leading us toward the best version of ourselves. One of the key aspects of realizing that God has already provided all you need is the importance of trusting in His timing. Many of us become impatient when we do not see the immediate results of our efforts. We want things to happen quickly, and we may become frustrated when they do not unfold as we expect. But when we trust that God has already provided what we need, we also trust in His timing. We understand that there is a greater plan at work, and that the right people, resources, and opportunities will appear at the perfect time. When we align ourselves with this divine timing, we release the need to control every aspect of our lives and allow things to unfold as they are meant to. It is also important to recognize that God's provision is not just about receiving, but also about giving. When we understand that we have been provided for, it naturally follows that we are called to share what we have with others. The abundance that has been given to us is not meant to be hoarded or kept to ourselves. Instead, we are invited to be conduits of that abundance, to share our resources, our love, and our wisdom with those around us. By giving, we participate in the flow of divine provision, and we open ourselves to receiving even more. This is the law of circulation. What we give flows back to us, often multiplied. Embracing the truth that God has already provided all you need brings a deep sense of gratitude. When we recognize the abundance that already exists in our lives, we become more aware of the blessings we may have previously taken for granted. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, and this shift in perspective opens the door to even more blessings. As we express gratitude for the provision that is already in our lives, we invite more of it to flow into our experience. When we truly internalize the understanding that God has already provided everything we need, we step into a new level of peace, trust, and abundance. We are no longer searching for what is already ours. Instead, we are living in the full awareness that we have been divinely provided for in every way. Our needs are met, our desires are fulfilled, and our journey is supported by an invisible hand that guides us every step of the way. Release control and trust in divine timing. This is one of the most liberating and transformative principles we can apply to our lives. In a world that often values control, certainty, and immediate results, it can be difficult to let go of the need to manage every aspect of our lives. Yet, when we learn to release control and trust in divine timing, we align ourselves with a deeper flow that transcends our understanding, opening doors to opportunities, growth, and fulfillment that we may never have imagined. At the heart of this principle is the understanding that there is a higher power, a divine force, guiding us through life. This force is beyond our comprehension, yet it works through us and around us to bring about our highest good. When we attempt to control every detail of our lives, we are essentially blocking the flow of this divine energy. We become so focused on our plans and timelines that we forget that there is a greater plan at work, one that is infinitely more precise, more harmonious, and more perfect than anything we could imagine. The desire to control is deeply ingrained in human nature. We often feel that if we can control the outcome of a situation, we will be safe, secure, and happy. The fear of the unknown, of uncertainty, can drive us to hold on tightly to our plans and to try to force things to happen on our terms. However, the more we try to control, the more we resist the natural flow of life, and this resistance only leads to stress, frustration, and disappointment. It is only when we let go of this need for control that we can begin to experience the peace, ease, and joy that comes from trusting in divine timing. Divine timing refers to the idea that everything happens when it is meant to happen. It is the understanding that there is an ideal time for everything, and that timing is often beyond our understanding. We may have desires, dreams, and goals, and we may want them to manifest immediately. But divine timing assures us that everything will unfold in its own perfect time. There is a rhythm to life, a natural order, and when we trust in that rhythm, we allow ourselves to be carried forward without struggle. The first step in releasing control and trusting in divine timing is to recognize that we are not alone in this journey. We are part of something much larger than ourselves. The universe, or whatever name we give to the divine, is constantly at work orchestrating events, people, and circumstances to bring about our highest good. Every experience we have, every person we meet, every opportunity that arises is a part of this divine plan. When we release control, we allow ourselves to be guided by this greater force, trusting that it knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see the full picture. One of the biggest obstacles to trusting divine timing is our attachment to a specific outcome. We have a tendency to set goals and timelines, and when things don't unfold as we expect, we become anxious or frustrated. We feel that we are doing something wrong, or that we are not moving fast enough. However, divine timing is not about controlling the outcome, it's about allowing the process to unfold naturally. It's about trusting that what is meant for us will come to us at the right time, and that we do not need to force anything. When we let go of our attachment to a specific outcome, we open ourselves up to unexpected blessings and opportunities that we could never have planned for. Trusting divine timing also means being patient. Patience is often one of the most difficult virtues to cultivate, especially in a world that demands instant results. We live in a culture that promotes the idea that success, happiness, and fulfillment should be achieved quickly. But the reality is that the most meaningful and lasting achievements in life take time. The process of growth, of transformation, of manifesting our desires is not always immediate. It requires patience, faith, and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. When we are patient, we allow space for things to unfold in their own time, without rushing or forcing them. In addition to patience, trusting divine timing requires surrender. Surrendering does not mean giving up or resigning ourselves to a passive life. It means releasing our need to control and trusting that there is a divine plan that is more perfect than anything we could create on our own. Surrendering is an act of faith, an acknowledgement that we do not have all the answers, and that we are willing to let go of our ego's desire to control the outcome. When we surrender, we allow life to flow through us rather than trying to force life to conform to our will. Another key aspect of releasing control and trusting in divine timing is cultivating mindfulness and presence in the moment. When we are consumed by the need to control the future, we miss the beauty and potential of the present moment. The present is where all of life is happening, where we can connect with our true selves, with others, and with the divine. When we are fully present, we are not worried about what is coming next, nor are we trying to manipulate our circumstances. We are simply experiencing life as it is, in its fullness and richness. Trusting divine timing means being fully present and allowing each moment to unfold without the pressure of trying to control it. There will inevitably be times in life when we feel uncertain or unsure of the next step. We may not know what the future holds, and this can create a sense of fear or anxiety. But when we trust in divine timing, we understand that even in these moments of uncertainty, we are exactly where we need to be. We do not need to have all the answers right now. Life is a journey, and sometimes the path ahead is not clear, but that doesn't mean we are lost. It simply means that we are being guided step by step in the right direction. Trusting divine timing allows us to move forward with confidence, knowing that each step we take is part of a greater plan. When we release control and trust in divine timing, we also begin to experience a deeper sense of peace. Our anxiety and stress begin to fade as we let go of the need to force things to happen. We no longer feel like we have to be in charge of every detail of our lives. Instead, we trust that life will unfold as it is meant to, and we allow ourselves to be carried by the current. This sense of peace comes from knowing that everything is working out for our highest good, even if we cannot see it in the moment. The best is yet to come. Believe and receive. This simple yet profound statement carries a message of hope, faith, and anticipation. It reminds us that no matter where we are in life, no matter what challenges we may face, or how uncertain the future may seem, the best is always ahead of us. This belief is not based on wishful thinking, but on a deep understanding of the universal principles that govern our lives: the power of belief, the law of attraction, and the abundant nature of the universe. At the core of this belief is the idea that life is always in a state of becoming. We are always in the process of growth, expansion, and transformation. The current moment is not the final destination, it is simply a stepping stone to something greater. The idea that the best is yet to come speaks to the potential that exists within each of us, the untapped opportunities, and the dreams that have not yet manifested. It is a reminder that we are not limited by our past, our present circumstances, or the challenges we face. We are limited only by our ability to believe that something greater is on the horizon. Belief is the first step in receiving the best that life has to offer. When we believe that the best is yet to come, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. Our beliefs shape our perception of reality. If we believe that things will continue to improve, that we are worthy of abundance, and that our dreams can come true, then our actions, thoughts, and emotions will align with that belief. On the other hand, if we believe that life is stagnant, that we are stuck in our current situation, or that things will never get better, then we close ourselves off from the opportunities that are waiting for us. Belief is a powerful force that shapes our experience of life. It influences the decisions we make, the relationships we form, and the way we respond to challenges. To truly receive the best that life has to offer, we must cultivate the belief that it is already on its way to us. This requires faith not only in ourselves but also in the universe and its ability to provide. Many times we get caught up in the idea that we must work hard or force things to happen in order to achieve success or happiness. While effort is important, it is equally important to trust that the universe is always working in our favor. We are not alone in this journey. We are part of a greater system that is always conspiring to bring us what we need at the right time. When we trust in this divine orchestration, we can let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead focus on aligning ourselves with the flow of abundance and possibility. The best is not something that we have to chase or fight for. It is not about striving or struggling. The best is something that is already on its way to us, waiting to be received. This is where the concept of receiving comes into play. To receive, we must be open to the gifts that are being offered to us. We must be willing to accept them without resistance or doubt. Sometimes we block our own blessings because we do not feel worthy or deserving. We may believe that we are not good enough or that we have to prove ourselves before we can receive anything good. But the truth is that abundance is our birthright. The best is not something that we have to earn, it is something that is already ours. All we need to do is believe that it is coming and open ourselves up to receive it. Releasing control and trusting in divine timing is not always easy. It requires patience, faith, and a deep sense of surrender. But when we embrace this principle, we step into a life of peace, trust, and alignment with our highest purpose. We stop forcing and struggling, and we begin to flow with life, knowing that we are always in the right place at the right time. Trusting divine timing transforms our perspective, our experiences, and our ability to manifest our dreams. It allows us to live a life of grace, ease, and divine alignment, where everything unfolds according to a plan that is more beautiful and perfect than anything we could have ever imagined. The act of receiving is not passive, it is an active process of alignment. When we receive, we are acknowledging that the universe is always providing for us. We are accepting the gifts, opportunities, and blessings that come our way without hesitation or resistance. Receiving requires trust. It requires us to let go of the fear that we are not worthy and instead embrace the idea that we are deserving of all the good things that life has to offer. This can be a difficult shift for many of us, especially if we have been conditioned to believe that we must struggle or sacrifice in order to deserve success. But the truth is that the universe operates on a principle of abundance, not scarcity. There is more than enough for everyone. The best is not limited to a select few, it is available to all who are willing to believe and receive. Believing that the best is yet to come also requires a shift in mindset. It requires us to move from a place of lack and limitation to a place of abundance and possibility. When we focus on what is missing in our lives, we attract more of that energy. We become fixated on what we don't have, and we inadvertently block the flow of good things that are trying to come into our lives. But when we shift our focus to what we do have and express gratitude for those things, we open the door for even greater blessings to flow. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we can use to manifest the best that life has to offer. When we express gratitude, we send a signal to the universe that we are open to receiving more of the good things we already have. This creates a cycle of abundance, where the more we are grateful for, the more we attract. The idea that the best is yet to come is not just about material success or external achievements. It is about recognizing that there is always room for growth, for learning, and for deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Life is a journey, not a destination. There is always more to explore, more to experience, and more to discover. When we believe that the best is yet to come, we embrace the unknown with excitement and curiosity, knowing that each new chapter brings with it the potential for greater joy, fulfillment, and purpose. This belief also extends to our relationships, our health, and our personal growth. The best is not limited to career success or financial abundance. It includes all aspects of our lives. We can believe that the best is yet to come in our relationships, knowing that we are capable of deepening our connections with others and attracting loving, supportive people into our lives. We can believe that the best is yet to come in our health, knowing that our bodies are constantly healing and regenerating, and that we have the power to create vibrant health. We can believe that the best is yet to come in our personal growth, knowing that every experience, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity to learn, evolve, and become the best version of ourselves. The power of believing and receiving is limitless. When we believe that the best is yet to come, we align ourselves with the flow of abundance and possibility. We open ourselves up to new opportunities, new experiences, and new levels of success and fulfillment. We let go of the need to control the outcome and instead trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. By believing and receiving, we tap into the infinite potential that exists within us and around us. The best is indeed yet to come, and when we fully embrace this truth, we allow ourselves to step into a future that is filled with infinite possibilities and blessings. In conclusion, the belief that the best is yet to come is not just an optimistic thought, but a powerful mindset that aligns us with the abundant flow of the universe. When we embrace this truth, we open ourselves to a life of limitless possibilities, full of growth, transformation, and blessings. The key to receiving all that is meant for us lies in our ability to trust, to believe in the unseen, and to release control over how and when it will arrive. By shifting our focus from what is missing to what is already present, we invite even more into our lives. Every day is a new opportunity to believe that the best is not behind us, but ahead of us, waiting to unfold in ways we may never have imagined. So let us choose to believe with unwavering faith, to trust with deep conviction, and to receive with open hearts. The best is truly yet to come, and as we embrace this truth, we will witness the transformation that unfolds before us.